means family, and in this case, family just got a live-action makeover. Hey everyone, welcome back to Movies on the Brain. I'm Jason, and today we're heading to the islands for a new take on a beloved animated classic. This is the 2025 live-action adaptation of Lilo and Stitch, directed by Dean Fleischer Camp, with a cast that includes Maya Kealoha, Zach Galifianakis, Sydney Agudong, Billy Magnuson, and Courtney B. Vance. This version brings a familiar story to life with a blend of heart, humor, and just a little bit of chaos from another galaxy. Let's talk about what happens when a Disney favorite trades ink for flesh and fur. Lilo and Stitch opened in theaters on May 23rd, 2025 with a budget of $100 million. So far, in its 5-week theatrical run, it has earned $400 million domestically and $545.9 million internationally, earning a worldwide total of $945.9 million. Its 3-day opening weekend, because it was Memorial Day weekend, saw it earn $182.6 million, finishing number one in the box office ahead of the likes of Sinners, Thunderbolts, Final Destination Bloodlines, and Mission Impossible The Final Reckoning, numbers 5 through 2 respectively, with Mission Impossible also opening the same weekend. Its most recent weekend, which was June 27th through the 29th, saw it earn $6.9 million, finishing its weekend in the box office at number 6. On planet Turo, Dr. Jumba Jukiba is convinced by the United Galactic Federation of illegal genetic experimentation, leading to the creation of Experiment 626, an aggressive and near indestructible creature with advanced learning capabilities. Jumba is found guilty and imprisoned, while 626 is sentenced to exile for his destructive behavior. However, 626 escapes by stealing a police cruiser and using its hyperdrive to reach planet Earth, crashing into the Hawaiian island of Kauai. I hope I'm saying that right. A Grand Councilwoman offers Jumba his freedom if he captures 626, pairing him with deputized Earth expert Agent Pleakley. 626 crashes near a wedding reception and is run over by a tourist trolley. A Hawaiian girl named Lilo Pelikai is expelled from Hula for pushing her bully Myrtle off stage due to frustration over her sister Nani's absence. Their social worker, Miss Kiyokoa, visits and finds Nani unfit to care for them, demanding she completes her tasks in a week. The next day, hearing Lila wants a friend, the neighbor Tutu takes her to an animal shelter where 626 is kept. Realizing Jumba and Pleakley are after him, 626 gets himself adopted by Lilo as a human shield. Nani takes him to her resort luau job with friend David Kawina. Lilo named 626 Stitch after Nani's comment. They enjoy the resort, but Stitch accidentally causes a table fire, leading to Nani's dismissal. Nani is visited by Kiyokoa and Cobra Bubbles, a CIA agent who's investigating Stitch's arrival, posing as a social worker. Koa demands that Nani find new employment immediately. Despite interviews, she is rejected due to Lilo and Stitch's antics. Lilo finds a surfing instructor flyer and shows it to Nani. She gets hired and they enjoy surfing after her first shift. Meanwhile, Jumba and Pleakley unsuccessfully try to capture Stitch while jet skiing, causing the Pelicais and Stitch to wipe out, nearly drowning Lilo as Stitch sinks. After recovering, Kakoa tells Nani the Hawaiian government can cover the health insurance costs if she relinquishes their guardianship, which she reluctantly agrees to. As the sisters share one last night together, Stitch realizes he caused their troubles and solemnly returns to the animal shelter alone. Meanwhile, the Grand Councilwoman, frustrated with Jumba's failure to capture Stitch, cancels their deal and orders Pleakley to return Jumba to prison. However, Jumba decides to capture Stitch without Pleakley. Kakoa and Bubbles arrive the next morning to find Lilo has escaped from her bedroom. They and Nani start searching for her. Lilo finds and comforts Stitch at the shelter, but Jumbo arrives to demand Stitch. They escape to the Pelikai's house and fight Jumbo, destroying their home. During the fight, Jumbo reveals Stitch used Lilo for his protection, leading to guilt-ridden Stitch surrendering. Jumbo takes Stitch aboard his spaceship using a teleportation portal gun and places him in a capsule, intending to later upgrade Stitch to erase his newfound empathy. However, Lilo, who sneaks aboard, frees Stitch and they eject Jumbo from the ship. The ship crashes into the ocean, trapping Lilo and Stitch underwater, with Lilo caught under the wreckage. Stitch rescues her but cannot swim to the surface. He releases her to let her emerge and drowns. Nani and David rescue Lilo, but she won't leave Stitch. David returns Lilo to shore, while Nani swims back to get Stitch from the ocean floor. They reach shore, but Stitch isn't breathing. Nani, David, Tutu, Bubbles, and Pleakley, found by Bubbles, try to revive Stitch by jump-starting him. Although it seems to fail, he wakes up, relieving Lilo and the others. Shortly later, the Grand Councilwoman arrives. She has Jumbo rearrested and decides to let Stitch exile on Earth with his newfound Ohana. As the Pelikais, Stitch, David, Tutu, Bubbles, and Pleakley return home, Kakoa tells Nani that she can give Lilo's guardianship to David and Tutu, allowing her to stay home. The Ohana then repairs the house and lives happily together. In a mid-credit scene, Nani, now attending the University of California, San Diego, to study marine biology, visits Lilo and Stitch back on Kauai using Jumbo's portal generating gun. Now let's look at the cast and some of their other roles. Maya Kealoha as Lilo Pelikai. This was Maya Kealoha's debut role and so far her only role. Chris Sanders as the voice of Stitch. Other than voicing Stitch in every media he appears in, the only other role Chris Sanders has had is Belt in the Croods franchise. Sydney Elizabeth Agudong as Nani Pelikai. Other roles for Sydney Elizabeth Agudong include Ellen in Second Chances, Jasmine in West Michigan, and Savannah in At Her Feet. Zach Galifianakis as Dr. Jumbo Jukiba. Other roles for Zach Galifianakis include Ron Winter in Winter, Ty in The Beanie Bubble, and Happy Medium in A Wrinkle in Time. Billy Magnuson as Agent Wendell Pleakley. Other roles for Billy Magnuson include Ryan in Game Night, Ben Brandt in 2024's Roadhouse, and Casey Hughes in the TV show As the World Turns. Courtney B. Vance as Cobra Bubbles. Other roles for Courtney B. Vance include Walter Davis in Office Christmas Party, Marshall Payton in the TV show State of Affairs, and Agent Block in Final Destination 5. Hannah Waddingham as the voice of the Grand Councilwoman. Other roles for Hannah Waddingham include Jinx in 2024's The Garfield Movie, Rebecca Welton in the TV show Ted Lasso, and Joanne Hill in Winter Ridge. Kaipo Duodit as David Kawina. Other roles for Kaipo Duodit include Andy in the TV show Rescue High Surf, Pilly in My Partner, and Kino in the 2020's TV show Magnum PI. Tia Carrere as Mrs. Kakoa. Other roles for Tia Carrere include Sydney Fox in the TV show Relic Hunter, Juno in True Lies, and Miss Cherry Bomb in Palm Springs. Amy Hill is Tutu. Other roles for Amy Hill include Mrs. Kwan in The Cat in the Hat, Sue in 50 First Dates, and Mama P in the TV show Just Add Magic. Emery Hogano Brielle as Myrtle Edmonds. The only other role Emery Hokano Brielle has had is little Jessie in the TV miniseries Don't Tell My Boss I'm a Girl. Jason Scott Lee as the manager for the Luau. Other roles for Jason Scott Lee include Bruce Lee in Dragon, the Bruce Lee story, Sifu in Balls of Fury, and Mowgli in 1994's The Jungle Book. This was such a fun movie. Maya Kealoha was perfect as Lilo. For being only 8 years old, she was so good on screen. I really enjoyed the casting for Sydney Elizabeth Agudong as Nani as well. And I enjoyed the chemistry between her and Maya Kealoha. Of course, Chris Sanders absolutely delivers as Stitch. You can tell he absolutely loves that role. To me, Zach Galifianakis is my least favorite casting choice. His scenes were good, but to me, he wasn't a very good Jumba, and it's a shame because I do think Zach Galifianakis and Billy Magnuson had really good chemistry. Their scenes together as Jumba and Pleakley were so much fun, even if I didn't like the casting for Jumba. Courtney B. Vance as Cobra Bubbles, I feel like is a great replacement for Ving Rhames. I thoroughly enjoyed every scene he was in. I also do like that the original voice of Nani, Tia Carrere, had a voice in this as a new character of the franchise. I like that they basically did a complete reimagining of the first movie, with only a few exceptions. The CGI throughout was absolutely phenomenal. The ending got me emotional, just like with the original animated movie did the first time I watched it. I I definitely recommend this to any Lilo and Stitch fans. Now let's look at some fun facts and trivia. Jason Scott Lee, who voiced David Kawani in the animated Lilo and Stitch series, has a cameo role. Chris Sanders, the director, writer, and story creator of Lilo and Stitch, reprises his role as Stitch. He had to juggle his voice work with making his blockbuster hit animated drama The Wild Robot at the same time. Lilo and Stitch was originally meant to be released straight to streaming on Disney Plus, but the strong reception from test screenings prompted Walt Disney Studios Motion Pictures to instead give it a wide theatrical release. This film is dedicated to David Ogden Stiers and Zoe Caldwell, the original voices of Dr. Jumba Jokiba and the Grand Councilwoman in the original animated franchise. The first trailer received 158 million online views within the first 24 hours. This is Courtney B. Vance's first Disney film. Sydney Elizabeth Agudong was 24 years old during filming, 6 years older than her character Nani Pelekai. And that wraps up my thoughts on the live action Lilo and Stitch, a reimagining that tries to balance heartfelt moments, island vibes, and a whole lot of intergalactic energy. It's always tricky when a story was when a story so many grew up with gets a new look. But whether you're here for the nostalgia or seeing it for the first time, this one definitely gives us plenty to talk about. Thanks for watching Movies on the Brain. I'm Jayson, and I'll catch you next time because Ohana means nobody gets left behind, not even movie lovers.